So last week I published that video, the Estes Leviathan with a 4K action camera mounted to it. Got to thinking, yeah, I've got all these wonderful 4K still frames that I can take out of the video. I should be able to stitch them into a panorama. So I remember in the old days I used Huggin, and so I was on Bing looking up freeware photo stitchers. And of course there's Huggin. But then I also saw this from Microsoft. Microsoft Computational Photography Applications. They have several offerings here. Some of them are for mobile. A couple of them you might need to go to the Windows Store. I'm running Server 2019 right now, so I'm going to check out the ICE. We'll do a demo of that here. I've already downloaded it, so let's just do the installation. Here we go. Well, that was quick. Seems pretty lightweight. Here's the options. I'm most interested in importing video because that's what I have. So I'm just going to do a quick preview of the video I want to select just to make sure I have the right one. And yes, this does look like this contains that apogee of the Leviathan with the 4K camera. So we're going to go ahead and import that into ICE. So far, so good. I'm going to give you a little foreshadowing on the story here. The biggest deal you can concern yourself with importing video into ICE is the number of frames that you're dealing with, expecting ICE to stitch them together, and their relationship to each other. You know, this rocket was rotating relatively fast. There was some angular motion towards the end, and I made the mistake of selecting too many frames originally, so we'll see how that comes out this first go round. I tried to crop out as many of the paint drying scenes as I could, but I still wanted to leave some progress indicator in there for some semblance of realism. Let's just take this time to remind you, if you're liking these videos, if you're learning something, please subscribe, and hey, pass them on to a friend. Ask them to subscribe too. It's alright. We do that here. So pretty much here you can see the bitter news that I was foreshadowing. We had 40 frames or 40 stills, and it managed to stitch together 34 of them. And I think as we drill into this, you're going to see the quality of the stitching. It really leaves a lot to be desired, and I really honestly felt that it was because I put too many frames in and we had that rocket tilting towards the end, so there was a lot of wobble in there. I think I'm going to go and try it again. You'll notice these convenient navigation buttons at the top, including the back button. So I'm going to select back and go back and see if we can select better frames for stitching. One of the things to note is these little drag bars for selecting. You can just click on them and then use your right and left arrow keys to move them around so you can fine tune that one frame at a time sort of motion. All right, this is looking a lot better. As you can see, all the photos are in one neat group. So here you can kind of pan and zoom, and you can also crop. There's an auto crop button that will select as much of the photograph as possible without selecting anything outside of the margins. You can also drag the drag bars around as you desire for your crop. So there's a few export options. PhotoSense looks like a photograph hosting site. Deep Zoom looks to create a web page with the images in it. And then there's just the straight up file export that exports to a JXR file, which is in the HDP format. So now I'm going to open up that JXR file with IR fan view. I go to image editing tool, and then we find out that we're missing the HDP plugin. So here you see how easy it is to get the plugins sorted out. Go back to the IR fan view page, find the 32-bit plugins. Get the one with the HDP plugin. Copy it to the plugin folder where IR fan view is installed, and we're off and running. Once we open the image in IR fan view, we can save the JXR as a JPEG, and everything works out okay. Okay, so that was ICE, the image composite editor from Microsoft Computational Photography Applications. I'll put the link for that page down below. Thank you very much.